Hey guys, it's time for the second anniversary tournament. We're going to be playing Pro. Let's look at our clubs real quick. We're going to use the Extra Mile level 6 and the Sniper. We have the Extra Mile and the Big Dog. And then in our third bag, I put the quarterback in. I might use the Big Topper for a hole or two, not really sure. We're going to play it by ear. And then for our golf balls, this is a tougher tournament, so I would recommend using some higher level golf balls. Like, definitely need some Titans, and some Katanas are a really good choice, and might even use a Kingmaker or two. But Navigator and Quasar, those are good choices as well. So we'll see how the winds are. The winds are really going to dictate what balls we're going to use. The Berserker is definitely an option for hole number 5. I think that's pretty much required if you want to get an eagle on hole number 5. So if you only have a couple Berserkers, save those for the weekend round, and just try your best. It's good to practice with them in your qualifier and opening round, but if you don't have them, you don't have them. So the next best thing will probably be a Titan ball, but you may struggle to get an eagle on hole number 5. So let's jump into it. Once again, no Tour 7 clubs. I'm only using Tour 6 and below. Excuse me. So let's get started. Alright, so here's our bracket. So it looks like the qualifying line is at -7, so we're not going to qualify today. So we want to try to keep it under -7. Shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to forfeit any birdie holes. -11 sitting at top. Pretty weak if you ask me. There's definitely room for more. -13 or 14 is definitely possible, I think. So lots of room for improvement here in this bracket. But let's get started. Hole number 1, I believe this is a Parc de Paris. So we'll be using our Extra Mile. Depending on the wind, I'm going to start with a Titan ball, and we'll see from there. So hole number 1. Let's wait for an opponent. So this is going to be an extra 10% to our drive, regardless of which direction we go in. If we get tailwind, you definitely want to go up the middle over the sand and roll into that fairway that's sitting in the middle there. Any other kind of wind, you can play it safe and go to the right, and then you'll have a long iron for the pin. But like I said earlier, we're going to play a little more aggressive today. Okay, try again later. Interesting. Let's try again. Oh, there we go. Got somebody. So let's see who gets to go first here. Okay, let's see what Bobby does. He gets to go first. So we've got like straight tailwind, so we definitely need to go straight up the middle. I'm not sure if we're going to need any overpower. Might need a little bit. So Bobby here playing on the right side. He hits it perfect. Okay, so coming in nicely. Pretty standard drive, nothing crazy. So our wind is 7.4. That's going to give us about 3.5 rings. So I'm going to go max top. I'm going to go with 3 to the left. So we're gonna have to push the limit here a little bit. Gonna go with a little bit of overpower. Hit it perfect. Uh-oh. Okay, well, so we went over, used a little bit too much overpower. So don't do that. Probably didn't need much overpower, if any at all. But so we have a sand wedge for the pin, so we'll still be able to make it to the green. So we're definitely going to make some mistakes today, that's for certain, but we need to learn from our mistakes. When we play a little more aggressive, things sometimes aren't going to go as we planned, but we can use this practice round to make the necessary adjustments. So our opponent gets it on the fringe here. So I'm going to try to get it to the green, and then I'll forfeit after that. But we're pretty close. So as you can see here, we can get it on the green. I don't have very much backspin, so I'm going to come over here. 5.2, we're looking at about 3 rings. So that puts it right here. Well, let me see if my... Okay, so I've got a tree right here to my left, so I don't want to curl it to the left, unfortunately. Alright, we hit it great. So that's fine. Get us back on the green. So this is definitely an eagle opportunity, but we can't mess up our drive like I did. But as you can see, we definitely have the room. So definitely a viable shot. We just need to dial in a little bit cleaner. So we're going to forfeit here. Then we're going to move on to hole number 2. This is a par 3. This is where we're going to use our sniper, and we're going to use a katana ball because we really need some side spin. This is a very good opportunity for a hole-in-one, I believe. We're going to add 10%. With the sniper, it's about 1-to-1 with the wind. So let's get started here. Let's see what kind of wind we get. We get to go first. All right, straight tailwind again. Okay, so this is where that side spin comes in. So I'm going to do that. That's 5 bars of backspin, 6 bars of side spin to the right. All right, you see how the fairway kind of slopes to the right there? So we want to stay away from that. So I'm going to put the clear ring there. I'm going to bring it back right around there. Looks good. I'm going to go 6.8 rings, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to add some curl to this shot because that tailwind's going to straighten our shot out. So I'm going to try about a half a ball here. Okay, not bad. Coming in a little bit too hot, so probably need a little bit more backspin, but the amount of curl was good. You know, if you don't have that much backspin, then you can use a Guardian here. So he doesn't seem to be using enough backspin. He's only using just shy of 3, and he did not adjust for the wind at all. So this is going to roll up the back of the green, probably roll back towards the pin. It should be fine. Too much speed, so it got stuck up on that fringe. So we'll forfeit here. We'll move on to hole number 3. Okay, so this one we're going to bring the big dog for sure. And we're going to use a Titan ball. I don't think a Kingmaker is necessary here. But let's jump into it. We're going to add 10% to this as well. Okay, we get some more tailwind. This is actually a helping tailwind because it's going to push our ball a little bit to the left, which is what we need. So our opponent here is using a Marlin ball, and you can see how far back he is. I don't know what he's planning on doing. But playing to the left here is good because it gives us a straight shot to the green. A good chance at an albatross. That looks like that's going right into sand. Yep, okay. So we don't want to do that. That's for sure. So an extra 10% to our drive, power 3. Maximum side spin to the left. I'm going to go with 2 bars of backspin. 6.6 wind gives us about 3.1 rings. Okay, so we don't need to overpower at all. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, make sure we have the big dog, yeah. So I'm going to go with, only have about a half a ball of curl here. So it should be enough. Alright, rolling nicely, there we go. Okay, that's a good shot, I like that. So this is going to be a pretty safe drive. We don't need to do any overpowering, even with an extra mile level 6 and a Titan ball. Our opponent here, he's struggling just to get to that second fairway. And we will hopefully be either in the cup or on the green after our second shot. So he puts his shot on the fairway, but he's got a long way to go. All right. Okay. I like it. I like that right there. So we're going with about, I'm going to say 1.5 bars of backspin. That should be good. 6.9, no elevation here, so we're going to go with 3.5 rings. We hit it perfect. Okay, good try. It's really hard to be accurate with the big dog, but we do need the distance. I don't want to use a sniper and then have to struggle with overpower or trying to use topspin to get up on that green, because the more topspin you use, the less control you have. So we'll take that. That's a good, that was a good approach. So we'll take the eagle here, and then we'll move on to hole number 4. So our opponent gets close, but he can't drop it in. We're going to put it here for an easy eagle. So as you saw, we got pretty close to the albatross on our first try, so there's definitely a good chance for that. So hole number 4. Okay, so this is a par 3. This is a big elevation drop. I usually use my mid numbers with a 20% drop. So we're going to switch to the sniper. And I'm going to try a navigator. I think a navigator will be fine here. Let's see what we got. So I usually have a pretty good or a pretty specific landing zone that I like to hit on this particular hole here. So we get to go first. So we got some crosswind. So you see these two shadows here? You got a tree shadow here and you have a tree shadow here. I like to put my red rings right in between those shadows. I'm gonna need a lot of backspin on this. Actually, I'm gonna bring it back some. I'm actually gonna change my shot completely. Okay, I don't like that landing zone, but we don't really have much of an option. So 5.8. We're looking at 6.1 rings, running out of time here. 5, 6. Let's see if we can land this. Okay, that's pretty good. So if you don't have that much backspin on your sniper, you'll probably need to use a Guardian. I don't even know how much backspin I used. So our opponent here, sniper level 7, only has 4 bars of backspin, and he's using a Kingmaker. So he's putting his target a little further back. So this is getting in dangerous territory because if you end up short, you're going to roll all the way down the fairway and you're going to have a really tough chip. So coming in hot here, going to roll off the back into the rough. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens when you don't use enough backspin to slow that ball down. So we're going to forfeit here. And we'll move on to hole number 5. This is a tough eagle. So extra mile and the big dog, and we're going to use a berserker ball. So let's give this a shot. So for this hole, when we're going to aim over the sand, I like to add 30% to my shot because we're going massively downhill, as you can see. So we want to land over here. 6.5, not the strongest, but we're looking at almost 4 rings. So this is a pretty tough situation to be in because we need to max overpower. I'm going to put some curl, whatever curl we have. Alright, so we hit great to the right. I think it'll be okay. No, we land into the rough. Well, we roll out into the fairway, which should be okay, because we still should be able to reach with the big dog. So ideally, we land on the fairway and we roll further up the green. But this is really, really tough. So our opponent here not using the right ball. So he lands into the rough, so he is in a very bad position. So let's see if we can get on the green, or at least close to it. Oh yeah, no problem here. Alright, so 6.7 wind. That's going to give us 3.6 rings, so let's see here. Okay. So I'm actually not going to use any side spin or backspin. I'm going to put some curl on this shot. I'm going to use about that much curl. Alright, let's see what happens. So we bounce good. Coming in okay. Didn't need that much curl, but we're in a good position. We can pick up an easy eagle. So we definitely want to eagle this. So spend the Berserker if you have it, especially in the weekend round. But the qualifier counts as well because that's where your tiebreaker score comes from. So if you don't get your eagles in the opening round, you're not going to have a good tiebreaker. And sometimes that is the difference between getting first place and getting second place, or even worse. So I'm going to take the eagle again. I'm going to chip in here with the Endbringer. Mine is only level 2, but it'll get the job done. Okay, I'm going to make sure. So we drop it in there. Okay, now comes hole number 6.
I know it's the same thing as yesterday. I'm sorry.
Thank you. The wife just got home from work and she brought me some dinner. It gets pretty close. But we will take that eagle and we will move on. So I'm still not sure how I'm going to play hole number 6. So I'm going to bring a few options. Let's see here. Let's go to our bags. So I'm going to bring the extra mile. We don't need to use our wood club for this hole, so I'm going to change this to the big topper, and then the quarterback here. So I'm going to start off with the Titan ball and the quarterback and see how that goes. See if I like that or not. Open our free chest there. Okay, so this is probably going to need some work, but reaching the green in 1 is definitely doable, and we need to do that. So we need to dial in our shot. So we get to go first. Okay. So I'm using the quarterback because we don't really need that much distance. Don't have enough top spin, I feel. We're going to give it a shot, though. I'm going to add 15% to this. So that's about, let's see here. Right there. Put it on that wall there. So not enough top spin. Yeah, we need more top spin. So the quarterback's not good there unless you have a quarterback 10. So probably the big topper, you'll have to use that to get a little more top spin. Maybe like 6 bars of top spin. The extra mile, it just doesn't have the curl, I feel, that you need. If you use an extra mile, if you have a level 7 combined with a Kingmaker, maybe like between 4 and 5 bars of top spin and as much left spin as you can get, that might be doable. But even though we missed our power hook, we're still going to get an easy birdie. And we still have a decent chance at the eagle. So I don't regret taking that shot, but it definitely needs some work. If you have an Apocalypse, that checks all the boxes really for a club you need. You need a club with good top spin, good curl, and moderate distance. So we'll try here. So I'm going to try there. I'm going to adjust about 2 rings maybe a little less. Okay, so a little bit off, but next time we'll definitely get closer. So that's the kind of route that you want to take though whenever you're playing this hole. Just try to get over that water and that sand onto that second fairway, but you can't use too much topspin because it's a sharp turn and you'll end up in the rough behind the green, and you don't want that either. So this is a practice round, like I mentioned, and we're taking a more aggressive route, so a lot of these attempts aren't going to quite work out, but we know what to do now. So our opponent, you really shouldn't be missing that far off with a B52, but it is what it is, so we'll forfeit here. It's unfortunate that that slice or hook shot didn't work out. We just needed more topspin and we didn't have it with that club. I was really afraid to use the extra mile because I feel like we need more curl than what the extra mile provides. So let's go to hole number 7. Let's see here. So I need to remember to change that. I'm going to do that right now, actually. Let's see here. Change that back to the extra mile. Okay, sniper. So I'm going to use a katana ball here because once again we need that side spin. Okay, so I'm going to add 10% to my shot, and I'm going to use max numbers for the sniper. Let's see what kind of wind we get here. Okay, we get some headwind, which is actually kind of a good thing. Oh, so our opponent just locks and loads and he's ready to go. He doesn't need to aim at all. So a rough bump of sorts, waste of a turkey ball if you ask me. So we're going to put our shot here. So that's maximum distance. So we're going to be back here, but we're going to use max numbers. I like to put my blue ring on the rough there. So you see the more topspin I add, how your ball guide is straightening out. So I'm gonna use about 1.5 bars of topspin maybe. Yeah. 7.2 max numbers. We're looking at 7.9 rings. Definitely gonna add some curl here. So I'm gonna add about half a ball of curl again. Not bad. Needs a little bit more topspin. Good approach though, right next to the pin. So I like that shot. Definitely, of course, needs some work. So we're going to give our opponent a free birdie here. And we will move on to hole number 8. So I'm going to put the big topper in my third bag just in case. And I'm going to bring the Saturn, because I think backspin is really important for our approach shot after our drive. I'm going to do the same thing here. I've got that, okay. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use the extra mile or the big topper, but I'm definitely going to use a Titan ball at the very least. This is a 20% extra adjustment. So this has a decent chance for an eagle. You won't see very many eagles here, but it is possible. Okay, looks like we've got some tailwind. So let's see what our opponent does here. So those two bunkers there in the middle, those are what we want to stay away from. So our opponent's using a quasar. He hits it good to the right. That will probably help him, to be honest. Yep. Let's see what kind of position he's in. So he's not terrible, but he still has those trees in his way. So we definitely have to max overpower here. 6.6 is our wind. So I'm going to do that. 3 bars of right spin. We have more crosswind than tailwind, actually. So that's not very good. 3.4 rings. I'm almost tempted to use the big topper. I'm gonna go with that. So 3 rings. Alright, so I'm going to use some curl to the right because I don't want to go into that sand. So we hit great to the left. So we're rolling down. So I think the big topper can outdrive an extra mile any day on this particular hole, just because you get so much distance from that roll. So you see here we cleared the trees, so we have a pretty clear shot, I think. The second shot we're going to add 10% to the wind. Looks like he clipped the tree there. That's why you don't want to be behind that tree. So because we have tailwind, he has to pull his target back to adjust for the wind. So you see here we're clear of that tree. Oh yeah, okay. So we're in minimum distance of our club. Yeah. So I'm going to put 4 bars of backspin. I want that third bounce right in front of the cup there. You see how the green kind of slopes to the left a little bit? So I'm going to aim on the right side of the cup. 5.8. With 10% adjustment, it gives us 2.4 rings. Alright, we hit perfect. There we go. Okay. So we did finally get one extra drop. Like I said, this is a pretty tough course and we need to practice. So today is Monday. I would recommend practicing on Tuesday and qualifying on Wednesday if you feel comfortable and if you have the bankroll for it, because it can definitely benefit you getting some extra practice in. So we're going to go with hole number 9. This is a pretty tough par 5 as well because we really want to get to that second fairway, but it's pretty tough. So once again, we will be using the extra mile. I'm going to bring the sniper because I think it's going to be enough. And I really don't want to use the big dog because this is a good chance for an albatross if we can get on that second fairway. So definitely bringing a Titan ball. This is another 20% drop, so we're going to add 20% to our adjustment. And we're most likely going to need to overpower this shot as well. So our opponent goes first. So this is some weird wind. This is like a power slice wind, but we don't have anywhere to power slice to. So our opponent coming in pretty nicely, clips the rough, but he's going to roll out, so he'll be fine. So we want to emulate that. We really want to clear the rough, but I don't really see it happening. Not with, when we have almost straight crosswind. Look at that. Okay. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to add like 2 bars of side spin to the right. 5.9 is going to give us 3.1. Okay, so I'm going to put my target right on the rough there, and I'm going to add a little bit of curl because I want to get a little bit of extra distance with the wind. Okay, we hit perfect. We're going to hit the rough. Hopefully we'll roll out. Oh, barely. Okay, so that was... We need to stay left, I think. Adding that curl, I don't think was a good idea. But we should still be okay. We got fortunate rolling out of the rough there. So our opponent's way over adjusting for the wind. Clips the rough and rolls out. So he has not too difficult of a chip with his wedge, but we want to at least have a chance at the albatross. So you can see here, oh yeah, we're fine. We're fine. So even with that worst case scenario drive we had, we're still in a good position. So maximum side spin to the right. So I'm going to try that. 7.4 wind. I'm going to add about 5%. It's a little bit downhill, not much. So 7.9 rings. I went 8 because I'm going to add a little bit of curl to my shot. All right. So that looks pretty good. Oh, wow, we got really close. We got really close to the albatross there. But we'll take the eagle. But the albatross is definitely a possibility, so there's some good chances for some extra drops on this tournament. You just need to bring the right clubs And don't be afraid to use the more expensive balls, because you get your balls back when you do well in the weekend tournament. Top 10, I think you get like 50 Kingmakers and 25 Titan balls or something like that. So if you do well in the weekend, you definitely make a profit. So you can see that we're just hovering on the edge of that cup there. Oh well, maybe next time. But we take the eagle. And that was the front 9 of our qualifier. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna open up my scorecard and take a look at our potential score. I'm gonna forfeit this. Okay, so even with all the mistakes we made, we still had 4 eagles. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bogeys. So that would have given us a score of minus 13. So that's not too shabby for our first attempt. And we made a mistake on hole number 1, but we learned how to fix that. We're not going to overpower as much, if at all, and give us a good chance for that eagle. If you make it over that bunker that we ended up in, then you'll have a short iron for the pin, and you can either go for a dunk or you can use a backspin shot with your thorn to get it in. Good chance for an eagle there. Where else did we make a mistake? Hole number 5, we hit great on our drive, so we did clip the rough, but we still ended up on the fairway, and with our big dog we were able to reach the green. So we were still able to get an easy eagle there. Definitely want to use a berserker on hole 5. Hole number 6, we need to work on that power slice or hook. We had a good landing zone, we just didn't have the topspin that we needed to get over that water and that sand. So quarterback 10 would probably have just enough topspin to get there. You can try an extra mile. I'm just worried about the lack of curl, honestly, but it doesn't hurt to try, and if it doesn't work out, you're still either in the sand or in the rough right by the green, so you still have a good shot at the eagle. Hole number 9, I added curl to my drive. I would take that away because we want to stay left because of the way the rough slopes down. We almost got caught in the rough, and that would have been big trouble for us. So we got fortunate, we rolled out, but we want to take away that chance of ending up in the rough. So don't curl. Probably maybe 1 or 2 bars of side spin to the right will be fine, but that extra curl was unnecessary because we can't clear the rough no matter how hard we try. Our second bounce is going to be in the rough every time, so we just want to make sure we have a good line to roll out onto the fairway. And as you saw, a sniper with a Titan ball is plenty to reach. So thank you for watching. I hope this helped you a little bit, and I look forward to seeing some good scores this weekend. See you guys later.